Hello, everybody! Bimerau is here. Welcome back with a very interesting list. The top albums of 2022 so far. This is not ranked, so I put it in alphabetical order, but I picked my 10 favorite albums of this year so far, meaning they have been released between January 1st and June 30th. Very interestingly, it's a diverse list where you can almost have each one of those as the best album of their subgenre, and you will see what I mean when I get to it. But that was not something I planned, it's just something that happened. So let's get right into it with the first pick for me being Battlebeast Circus of Doom. I liked this album a lot, but I haven't seen many good reviews actually. That doesn't surprise me, and it's one of the reasons why I started this channel. Of course, if you want extreme metal or prog metal adventures, this is not the album for you. But we have to judge an album for what it is and what it tries to accomplish. In that sense, Battle Beast stays true to their formula of quote-unquote 100% heavy metal, 0% bullshit. And this is a lot of fun. It's catchy, contagious, while delivering energy and quality songwriting. It's a very good album, and I keep listening to it, and I actually not ashamed. It's power metal, of course, but for this genre, these might be the best power metal album of the year, and maybe their best album in their discography as well. So I saw them live this summer, and it was fantastic. It really delivered on this. So let's move on to the second one on the list, Cult of Luna, The Long Road North. So this could be considered the best post-metal album of the year so far. And those guys have been very productive the last few years. The emotions and dedication of the band in those albums is undeniable. The lack of fixed structures and templates gives the album an open and honest artistic vibe to it. The music takes you to different places, from super heavy screams to beautiful melodies, melancholic moments, and even ambient soundscapes. All this combined really appeals to me, and I really like this album a lot. Another very good album this year. Next, I have, which is probably my favorite black metal album of the year, Dark Funeral, We Are the Apocalypse. I came to this album with no expectations, and I'm now surprised how much I enjoyed it. It's nothing new or innovative, but it's damn good, straightforward black metal with a black and raw flavor to it at times. But most importantly, for a black metal album, it's also really dynamic, with variability and not just tremolo picking guitars and blast beats. It's a well-written, performed, and produced album. In sum, a very good black metal album, and as I said, the best of 2022 so far, in my opinion. Next one is Decapitated, Cancer Culture. Decapitated delivered an angry album with blasting energy and heaviness from start to finish, but with enough variability and groove to keep it interesting throughout the album. You can expect to hear an outstanding production, enjoy a very interesting artwork, and benefit from a little something here and there that you would not expect from Decapitated before this album. A very good album, and one that may grow even further on me as I keep listening to it. Next, probably the best prog metal album of the year so far, Evergrey, Our Heartless Portrait, The Orphean Testament. Less than a year, more or less, after the previous records, Evergrey delivered one of their strongest albums in years. It can even become my favorite Evergrey album ever. The album flows greatly, and I could sense I'd be hooked on it from the first listen. And since then, it only grew on me. An overwhelming journey through progressive heaviness and searing emotionally is repeatedly accented by sonic melancholy and gripping lyrics. There's a lot of heaviness in this album, but masterly combined with melancholy and slower moments. Besides, it's very catchy and musically feature strong guitar riffs and guitar solos. Very good album, a progressive metal lesson without overdoing it. Next, it's not the best guitar album of the year because that will come later, but one of my favorite guitar players of all times, Joe Satriani, came back with the Elephants of Mars. This guy has nothing to prove. After almost 20 studio albums, he has collected millions of fans and accolades. However, with the Elephants of Mars, he demonstrates that standing still is not an option. A dynamic album combining classic elements from the early albums with experimentation and fusion music makes this new album a pleasure to listen to. Some of the comments in this review have mentioned that the production is not very good. I need to really pay attention once again, but it didn't bother me, at least when listening via streaming. So I kept on the list and I'm still listening to it. It's another delight also to inspire guitar players around the world when we have such an extensive career and you're still inventing and doing things differently. Now, completely changing direction, we go to thrash metal, the best thrash metal album of the year so far, Creator Hate Über Alles. Creator's 15th studio album is remarkably consistent with the previous records. Aggressive German thrash metal, well written, produced, and executed from start to finish. It doesn't bring a lot of new things to the table, maybe other than the song Midnight Sun, featuring a guest female singer, which I think is the first time they do this. But despite not being innovative, it's damn good. A very good album where there are no weak songs. So you can go from start to finish and have a lot of fun with traditional German thrash metal. Next, we have Porcupine Tree with Closure Continuation. Many would never expect to see a new Porcupine Tree album ever again, but here we are. It was worth the wait. Not a heavy album, but another interesting step forward in the band's discography, featuring an interesting guitar tone, odd time signatures, and conventional song structures and beautiful melodies. It's everything I would hope from these guys, and it's probably the album that I listened the most this year so far. The best prog rock album of the year, and will probably be very high on my year-end list as well. Alright, so we have two more to go, and the next one is the best guitar album of the year, maybe of the decade already. It's Steve Vai in Violate. Vai continues to use his solo work to expand and explore. He has been continually challenging notions of traditional guitar playing and composition even at the age of 60, and having accomplished so much in his successful career. With Inviolate, he has done it again. Not only he reimagined the instrument itself with the Hydra, but also this time around, Vai quite literally invented a new guitar playing technique. And those are just two highlights of the so many things he did and explored in this album. Besides all of that, the music is fun and entertaining to listen to. So I can only say it's a very good album and the guitar album of 2022 so far. And probably will stay that way, as I mentioned. Alright, so let's get to the last album. We get down to the last letter of the alphabet, so we are in Z with Zeal and Ardor with the self-titled album. I'm a big fan of this band's first two albums, and the trend continues now with the self-titled third album. Zio and Ardor continue to build on their unique combination of black metal and African American music, but this time around they doubled down on the heaviness of some tracks and also on the post-metal elements in other songs. The album is dynamic, heavy, catchy, and super interesting. I saw them live twice already this year, and those new songs blend perfectly with the older ones. When I rank the albums in December, I'm pretty sure this one will be very high on the list. So that's it, my top 10 picks for the year so far. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know what you think about it. What albums did I miss? What albums I didn't check yet and that I should check before I complete my year-end list in December. Thanks for being here, from listening, and be meta always.